Zach Siegel is the president of the Boston University College Republicans. We talked to him in September after Charlie Kirk was killed. Siegel is now claiming on social media that he is the reason ICE showed up at an Alston car wash earlier this month and hauled off 9 employees. Siegel posting on X, "I've been calling ICE for months on end. This week they finally responded to my request to detain these criminals. As someone who lives in the neighborhood, I've seen how American jobs are being given away to those with no right to be here. Pump up the numbers."
It's frankly appalling to see somebody that's proud of destroying an entire family, an entire community. These people, all 9 of them, no criminal records at all, yet he's referring to them as criminals.
Todd Pomerleau is the attorney who represents the 9 detainees, 5 women and 4 men. He says Siegel, who was born in London and schooled in the UK, according to the BU Athletics website, certainly can exercise his First Amendment rights here in the U.S. But Pomerleau finds his arguments ironic.
He's talked about how these jobs are being taken by 9 people working at a car wash. Well, he's taking up a college student seat who's from America by his same rationale.
The 9 workers were detained on the morning of November 4th. Pomerleau says many of them do hold legal status and valid work permits that they were never given a chance to produce.
They were grabbed and thrown in a van, never given any opportunity to explain who they were, where they're from.
Zach Siegel did not return our request for an interview or comment. The BU student is an intern for Republican candidate for governor Brian Shortsleeve, a strategist for the campaign, telling us tonight, "We don't answer for anyone else's social media but our own, especially not a volunteer intern." Brian has been clear that he supports enforcing our laws, including our immigration laws, and he supports due process.
Zachary Siegel said he had been, quote, calling ICE for months on end, quote, to detain these criminals, unquote. 5 women and 4 men were detained in the raid, and according to their attorneys, many of them hold legal status and valid work permits.
There's some question about whether or not he's a U.S. citizen. He grew up in London, right? He was born in Florida, which one presumably I think would make him a citizen, but
yeah.
He grew up in London. Someone else said, how is somebody from Britain the head of the college Republicans at BU? But it's just, I think it's the abject cruelty of all of this.
Yeah.
It is the cruelty and the bragging about it.
Behold, the superior race. These are the eyes of someone who claims to have called immigration enforcement officials on a car wash in Boston. November 4th, 9 car wash employees were detained at a car wash in Alston, Massachusetts. And Zach Siegel, or Siegel, however these people pronounce their names, president of the Boston University College Republicans, claims that he was the reason those agents showed up to the car wash in the first place. This is his post on Twitter. You can pause to read it. Get this. Zach wasn't even born in this country. Zach was born in London, and he received schooling in the UK. And Zach also interns for Republican candidate for governor Brian Shortsleeve. The attorney representing the detainees says that none of them have criminal records and that 5 of them have bond hearings next week, and they could be released from custody. And while it is unclear if the agency showed up to this car wash because of Zach's phone calls, 9 people were taken from their families that day. But anyways, let me show them to you again. This is the superior race. It seems like Zach only has a problem with immigration when the people that immigrate here are not white.
So this guy right here is the one who called ICE on the Alston car wash in Massachusetts, which resulted in 9 people being detained and arrested. He said he was calling ICE for months because supposedly they were all criminals and stealing jobs from Americans. His name is Zach Siegel. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And I think he's a junior. I want everyone to remember him because when things start changing, I want opportunities for him to also start changing. I want people to question if they even want to be around this guy. So remember his face. Zach Siegel.
Heartbreaking news. ICE agents target 25 churches on Sunday, November 16th, to detain people and take them away to ICE detention centers. At what point do you see the cruelty that ICE agents are inflicting on the undocumented immigrants across this country? Because targeting churches on Sunday isn't just immoral, it's depraved. It is the cruelest form possible to oppress not only a person's rights to civil liberties or due process, but now exercising the rights of worshiping God on Sunday has been rifled by the ICE agents across the country. And in case you didn't realize, let me be clear. I hope that if there is a God, he comes down with Old Testament values and smites thee in a way that makes everybody realize just how horrible these ICE agents are operating and treating human lives on stolen land. Because one thing is for certain, this country is depriving due process to immigrants who have done nothing wrong but come here for the American dream. Trying to target individuals going to church on Sunday is heartbreaking and should be known by everybody. Even if you somehow don't sympathize with undocumented immigrants and the way they're being persecuted across this country, ICE agents not only violating our Constitution, but now our ability to worship God on Sunday should be spread across the country. And if you stay silent, then you are somehow accepting this and allowing it to happen. Share this and let more people realize just the brutality that ICE agents are inflicting on people of this country.
So, thank you everyone for watching this video, and my name is Anthony, and I'll be making my conclusion at the end of this video. But in regard to these clips of this guy who called ICE on this workplace, do you remember that lady from Georgia who called ICE on South Korean engineers? Do you remember her? So let's continue watching, because this individual is from UK, and the spot that he has taken in university should be taken over by an American. So it's a hypocrisy for me. Let's continue watching, and I'll be making my conclusions.
I'm George Redes, an Iraq combat veteran and U.S. citizen. On July 10th, I was driving to my security job at a farm in Southern California when I ran into an ICE roadblock and protesters. I explained to agents I was a citizen and just trying to get to work. Moments later, chaos broke out. Tear gas filled the area and I couldn't move my car. Agents smashed my window, pepper sprayed me, dragged me out, and knelt on my neck and back. Agents never checked my ID. They detained me for 3 days. No phone call, no lawyer, not even a shower to wash off the pepper spray. My family had no idea where I was, and I missed my daughter's 3rd birthday. Now I'm fighting back with the Institute for Justice because accountability matters, and the truth deserves to be heard. I hope to set a pathway for everyone.
ICE tried to put a man in prison for 20 years because one of their agents cut his own arm breaking a car window. The agent, William Carl, smashed through the car's window during an arrest. He cut his own arm, and the Trump administration tried to charge the man with assaulting an officer. Except, a federal judge watched the video and said what we're all thinking, that it never happened. The officer injured himself. The judge, Xavier Rodriguez, he literally called the case outrageous, fictional, and a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Because they didn't just use excessive force, they made up the story to cover it. They lied. They said the car moved and caused the injury. The video shows the truth. The agent punched through the window on his own. And ICE wanted to lie to send the man, a husband and stepfather, to prison for 2 decades. And it gets worse. His tiny dog Rocky, his 6-month-old puppy, was killed during the stop, run over in the chaos that ICE caused. All because agents assumed he was in the country illegally, with no proof, no warrant, no threat. And after all this, after the judge threw out every charge, called it a fictional prosecution, the man that ICE was accusing is still sitting in an immigration detention center. These are the same agents who break windows first and invent excuses later, because DHS is literally encouraging that tactic. You want to talk about crime? That's crime.
Everybody be careful out there. There's now masked men who are pretending to be ICE agents or law enforcement, and they're grabbing women, and unfortunately there's already been 2 rapes, one in North Carolina and one in Maryland. There was an attempted rape in New York, and that guy then assaulted and robbed a woman when the attempt failed. And they're all saying the same thing, either law enforcement or ICE. They're mainly targeting Latino women. One of them had a fake badge, the others didn't have a badge. But the problem is ICE goes around in mass with no badges. So when a masked man comes in with a badge, no badge or a fake badge, there's no way for women to know whether they're law enforcement or not. So if you don't cooperate with law enforcement, they're going to add a lot of charges to your accounts. But if you do cooperate, turns out it's not law enforcement, It's a total disaster. That's why law enforcement and ICE should never, ever be in mass. You should always represent a badge. That's how we do it in America.
Back in April, Mount Baker Roofing Company in Washington hired 37 undocumented workers so they could finish their roofing job. They hired 37 undocumented men, and then when the job was done, they called ICE and had them all detained so they didn't have to pay them. 37 men all lost their entire lives, got separated from their families, all because a selfish roofing company in Washington decided to call ICE on them after they finished a job for them.
I won't give up. I won't give up. I don't care what you do to me, but take me and leave the mothers of children here. I'm a body. I count. Take me. Hi. I'm Buzzy B. Teacher, comedian, satirist, and one of you, whatever the side of the aisle you sit on. I'm an American, and I'm first of all and most important, a human being. We're all on this planet together. And the leader of our country has turned us against one another. What are we doing? If you work for ICE, take me.
So thank you to everyone who has watched this video to the end. It's always amazing having you here, my viewers, my subscribers, and everyone who usually comment to ensure that this video gets a wider reach. Every tyrannical government has enablers, and the enablers of the Trump administration are people like Siegel, whatever Siegel, whatever Seagal, whatever, name it, I don't know. Those are the enablers of the Trump administration. And later, in the ends of this clip, you saw this Trump veteran, or this army veteran, who was being harassed by ICE agents. People who have served this country being harassed by some Proud Boys, whatever, name them, or some oath keepers, name them. And we have this other video of these contractors who gave some immigrants some work, construction work, and then when it was complete, they called ICE on them. You know what this is? This government is evil as the people who elected it. Some these workers in Boston will be arraigned in court, but according to what I hear, they had the permit to work in the United States, right? Legally. But my question is, when these workers will be out of work, will Seagal or whatever go to work there? Will he? Or when these Korean engineers stop constructing in our country, these factories, will the likes of Seagal or Seago, whatever, go to work over there? Will they? Or when maybe these contractors can't find the construction workers, you know, with the likes of Seagal, go to work there? The Trump administration is really going against its word. They're saying that you don't have an issue with law-abiding immigrants who are living in the United States. And by what you are seeing in all states, not only Massachusetts, whatever, in all states like North Carolina, name them, which other state, Illinois, they are grabbing hard-working immigrants in this country. And the Supreme Court gave them unprecedented powers when they told them that they can arrest people based on their race. It's happening in Texas, name them, Florida, another state which is Republican, except maybe in some blue states whereby their governors are trying to stand against ICE. And now, what is really scary, or what I don't understand, is that some governors, even in the blue states, Georgia, North Carolina, they are mobilizing the National Guard to assist ICE in grabbing kids in schools, separating families, whatever Trump commands them to do. So it's really sad what we are becoming. We have a morality police in this country. We have a morality police. And it's scary that they have over 70 million enablers who are supporting this totalitarian government of Donald Trump. Tell me what you think in the comment section. What is happening in this country is not an indication, but a declaration that a Republican presidency should never be allowed in this country in the future and indefinitely. And to everyone standing against Donald Trump, fear is the reaction, courage is the decision. So talk blue, watch blue, listen blue, vote blue, and until the next video, thank you for your attention to this matter.